YinzCenter is back with you guys, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have lost to the New England Patriots.
Wah, wah.
Again. It just never ceases to fail whenever it's Bill Belichick.
I mean, you would hope that after last week's loss to the Cardinals that they would bounce back, but I guess not.
Guess not. Just kidding. We actually don't know yet. It is Thursday, December 7th. They do play tonight, though.
We are on the right day for that.
But we do not feel good about the prospects. Maybe they're better with Trubisky, but like I don't see any sign of life in that regard. Yeah.
No, it's not possible.
They very well might lose the Patriots, and I think it might be like all field goals, 12-9.
I'm just like, every week I'm like, man, one loss closer to my prediction being correct.
That's all you want is just the right prediction.
Yeah, got to be like crippled domstress or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's not Nostradamus.
So they actually did lose to the Cardinals.
They did.
So that was bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I had hockey practice during that game.
I watched it on Red Zone, and it was as bad as it looked. I mean, we had some hope in the first two drives, and then I think they just didn't score on him, and then Ken went down, and now I think he had to listen to Big Ben. I think Big Ben probably called him up at halftime and made him put on the walking boot because Ben loved his walking boot, right?
Yep.
Big Ben loved his walking boot more than any other player I've ever seen in NFL history on the walking boot. And so, like Ben would, after a bad loss, he'd lose to a team like the Cardinals or be losing, and then he'd like put the boot on. Like I think against the Bengals.
Can't blame me now.
I think it was the playoff game against the Bengals. He put on, he got hurt in his shoulder or something, and I felt like then he put on his boot, and then he was, he looked like he was out for the game. And Landry Jones is in, and then on the last drive, then comes Big Ben.
Oh,
no more walking boot. And I guess his arm was fine. So I don't understand.
I mean, did we win? I guess.
Yeah, we did win that one. So
good enough then.
So that's why I think Ken got the walking boot on. Big Ken Pickett.
I guess we'll find out, but I don't know. I don't
He
even
is
know what
due
actually
for
happened
surgery.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
his
say
ankle.
I thought so, but I didn't want to be that bozo, and then you'd be like, no. He's not.
Yeah, that is correct, which I was like, if it was just a sprain, like it feels like it should be less than surgery.
Yeah. I don't even know what actually happened. So is it
I thought it was a concussion, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm like
shoulder?
thinking. Well, because I saw like his head like go down to the ground. They said it was his ankle and like lower area. I think I thought I heard high ankle sprain. I don't know. The Steelers are so ambiguous with their injuries and stuff, and actually, it's just all these Pittsburgh teams.
It's a Mike Sullivan thing.
Yeah, I guess it is a Mike Sullivan thing, which we'll get into later.
I will never not take advantage of that as long as Mike Sullivan is still around.
Yeah,
If
I think they might just need to clear the whole house there.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Do we want to get into that now, or
do we want to wait until after we lose the Patriots?
I was going to say, have you had enough of your Steelers losing yet?
Kinda. I mean, it's the ones against the bad teams, because we highlighted the Texans one
right
earlier in the year and thought I already knew that was going to be that. And look at the Texans; they're actually a playoff team,
decent team, right?
Yeah, they 7-5, I think, at this point, and they go down. They just go down to these bad teams, though. Like the Cardinals, 2-10. Yep. That's someone that should already, like. I'm pretty sure I had that. I didn't even acknowledge that as a potential game of trap game during my predictions, because I figured they would probably right the ship. Ken Pickett was gonna right the ship and kind of start looking better, but Big Ken, he ain't no Big Ben.
No, he's definitely not, and I didn't think we needed to wait this long to verify that.
It's very obvious at this point.
Yeah. I think it was pretty obvious from day one of him starting.
Well, realistically, we all had hope at the beginning of this season after the preseason. You didn't because you're just oblivious. But I got kind of bought up into the hype a little bit and saw, like, a couple of really nice throws. And I saw those same throws again that, like, kind of on a dime in that first drive. And then, like, they get into the red zone. Don't know what they're doing anymore. Don't know how to play football anymore. Right. And these receivers, too, that don't put in any effort whatsoever. Like, they don't know the playbook.
Yeah, they're doing, like, dances on second down. And
they just make up the routes as they go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not pretty. Things really went downhill quick. I guess not really quick. I guess it's kind of been like a steady thing for the last number of years. But
well, with Trubisky starting, you should.
Yeah,
you would really ideally, even for this playoff contention to still be a real thing, you got to at least for the next 4 games go 2-2. So then you'd be at 9-6 at that point, or 9-7.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Well, it all begins tonight, and yeah, well, should I stick with my original predictions, or do I go along with the, what I've been kind of doing here?
I mean, that's up to you.
Yeah, who cares? Well, we already said they lost at the beginning of the episode, so everyone's
stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Steelers need to lose out for my prediction to be right. And after last week, I think I might be.
You're already, you're just going all in with it.
I mean, because think about it. If we lose this week, I can't see us beating the Colts. I don't see us beating the Bengals, the Seahawks, or the Ravens. So they might get to what, 8 and it'd be 8 and 9 then, huh? If they win tonight and then lose out. But again, after last week, I just can't see that happening.
Well, the time will tell. Time will tell.
Well, who played quarterback last week for them, for the Cardinals? Was it Kyler Murray?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's not as good as Bailey Zappi, right? Is that who's playing tonight?
I would say Kyler Murray's a lot better than Bailey Zappi.
Did I say he's not better than?
Correct.
Oh, crap. I meant he is a lot better than.
Yeah. Kyler has some mobility to his game. Yeah,
so
then he makes
I guess that kind of gives us more of a chance. It gives us better of a chance, but I don't know. I'm not a Trubisky fan.
So the over-under for this game is at 30.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which I think is the lowest of the season.
I think everybody should be smashing the under.
It's not too late.
I won't be, just because it's me. I know that I'm probably going to be wrong.
Yeah, then this will be the game that Mitch Trubisky throws for 5 touchdowns, and then he'll never throw another one for the rest of the year.
Because he'll get sat. Ken will be back.
Yeah, whenever Big Ken comes back from his ankle surgery way too early, then he'll have to put the boot back on. Well, if he's with the boot, if it's like Big Ben's magic
just
boot,
wear it every weekday during practice, and then on Sunday you're fine.
Ken gets the surgery, and then he puts on the boot, Ben's boot. Ben's boot will probably heal his injury in 2 weeks.
Das Boot.
I don't think it'll help the Steelers that his injury will heal in 2 weeks with Big Ben's boot, but maybe it does.
At this point, it can't hurt.
That's what they're going to do. There you go. This is Ben's trusty boot. It's yours now, Ken.
Bring it on.
I don't need this no more, Ken. It's your boot. I don't have a good Big Ben voice.
No. I can't even, think. I can, vaguely remember his voice, but it's been so long.
We'll pretend.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really need to.
Well, I do want to pretend.
I don't really care to.
I really do want to pretend that we could go back to our fever dreams, though, because we are in hell. We are in power play hell. The Penguins played the Tampa since our last episode. Bolts twice, and
Philly twice.
And Philly twice. We had a goalie goal. We were going to be so pumped to talk about the goalie goal in this episode, but the last 3 games have been so bad and so atrocious. Like, I'm deflated after the Philly losses. And then last night, nobody gave a shit. That was really, like, Sidney Crosby gave a shit, and nobody else did.
Yeah.
Jake Gensel scored on accident.
Yeah, I told you before we started recording. I stopped watching it after a certain point. I was just like, okay, well they clearly don't have it tonight. B, don't care tonight. So
it's something about the suffering. It takes me back to the X Generation days, and it's just like,
yeah, but
I need to sit through this.
We have Sid, we have Letang, we have Gino, we have Carlson. We shouldn't be suffering. We shouldn't be going through an 0 for 34 power play in however many games it's been.
It's been at least 2 episodes. Our last episode was
2 weeks.
The Deathly Power Play Hallows.
Right.
Now it's probably going to be the Deathly Power Play Hallows Part 2. Just like the movies.
So, like I said, the Pens right now are 0 for 34 on the power play. Their worst drought in franchise history is going 0 for 35 from December 23rd, 2008 to January 6th, 2009. That was when Ryan Whitney got traded to Anaheim for Chris Kunitz. Michael Therrien was fired for Dan Bylsma, and the Penguins won the Stanley Cup that year. So finally, maybe, I don't know who you move, but that gives us a little bit of hope.
And that's the biggest problem with this Penguins team is there is nobody really
move.
to move. I think
Unless
the only asset you can move is Jake Gensel, and I don't think you're doing that move right now.
I mean, I don't know what you get for him, but I mean, at this point, when's the last time we saw P.O. Joseph in the lineup?
They say he's like nursing an injury or something.
He's on a conditioning assignment now in Wilkes, so he's on like a. Yeah, they loaned him down there for a conditioning stint, so he's down there for 3 games or 4 games or whatever it is, and then he'll be back up. But I mean, do you see him in the lineup? I don't know. Maybe you bump out Ryan Shea, because I haven't really cared for his game a whole lot lately. But
I wouldn't take John Ludwig out of the lineup.
No, I wouldn't take him out. You can't take Ryan Graves out because he's making too much money. But he hasn't been very good this year.
He's looked like a giant, goofy
just
antelope out there.
Yeah, somebody that doesn't belong on a top pairing or maybe even a top 2 pairing.
So I've heard that, like, in his previous switch from Colorado to New Jersey, his first year in New Jersey was really, really poor. A lot like this, they were saying. But he was also 27 then. Or, a little bit younger. I think now he's on the other side of 30.
No, he's 27 now.
Oh, okay. So that might have been 24. Okay. So I think there's still hope here.
I do.
I'm really worried about this
he's
year,
28,
though.
so
I'm worried about this year because the points are... We did accumulate 4 points.
Oh, he's got Mom's birthday.
Huh. Nice. We did accumulate 4 points in that stretch of these last few games.
Right.
Last 4 games, so point per game.
Right. I mean,
but it was ugly.
It's the defensive side. We didn't sign Ryan Graves to be an offensive defenseman. We signed him to be a defensive defenseman, and
that's what irked me the most. He tries to like come in and like he looks like a giant goofy antelope.
He's not good in the neutral zone. He's not good in...
Well, he comes into the offensive zone with the puck, and he just, like, fires it wide.
Well, that's everybody. We shoot pucks into...
Oh, it's been consistent.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, at least he's, like... If he's shooting it towards the net, I don't care if he's missing wide. At least he's fucking getting it towards the net and not hitting somebody in the shin pads. And then, guess what? 2-on-1 or 2-on-0 the other way. The Penguins give up... second to most in the league?
I believe it was the 3rd most was the stat behind the Sabres and the Blackhawks.
Yes, correct.
That is some bad numbers. And we lost to recently. Well, we lost to the Sabres recently, and as well as the Blackhawks at the beginning of the year.
Yep. Yeah. And the Blackhawks, they're back in the news. But anyway, Yeah, it's not been good. The only defenseman that's been, well, there's been two. Pettersson's been pretty decent so far, and John Ludwig as well. But I mean, Letang's been pretty good as well. Erik Karlsson, we knew he's not going to be the most solid defensively, but I think he's been pretty good for what you'd expect from him.
Which is ironic because we're also sitting here and we're complimenting 4 of the 6 defensemen pretty heavily. Like, between, well, I mean, actually, we're going to take away some of the Karlsson compliments because, like, it's,
I mean,
offenses. I mean,
the
between, like,
offense
Ludwig,
yeah,
Letang, and Marcus Pettersson.
Yeah, 3. I mean, Karlsson has been subpar. I mean, he's shown flashes of, like, okay, that's what you brought him in for. And then other times you're just like, okay, what are we doing here? And I get it. That's been most of the defense, but I don't know. I mean, you can't keep giving up odd man rushes. You can't give up what was it? I think almost 5 or 6 odd man rushes a game.
It feels at least like 5 or 6 offensive. Like the numbers reflect how I feel it looks too. Like it's very apparent the odd man rushes.
And we were talking about the goaltending. The goaltending's actually been pretty good, like really good actually. But they're just getting bombarded to the point where, and they're not getting any support, to where it just makes it look bad.
You give up that many 2-on-1s.
Well, that's what I mean.
Your scoring chances on those plays versus any other sustained offensive zone time type of thing. I mean, I don't know what those numbers look like. You get a 2-on-1 and scoring percentage on that, but it's got to be like more 50-50 at that point. Or probably higher, because I feel like 2 quality NHL players, and like, you know, for example, Nikita Kucherov and Steven Stamkos are going to bury that probably 98 times out of 100.
And speaking of them, like burying chances, they're burying it because they're shooting. The Penguins are either not shooting or they're shooting into people, as we said. I mean, last night Brian Rust had a beautiful chance with Gino and Drew O'Connor on the line. At least 2 really good chances. And he tried to, like, pass him backdoor and make, like, lateral passes. I'm like, come on, just take the shot. Why all of a sudden is Brian Rust trying to become a playmaker?
So how do you think they can solve this big problem of not shooting directly into their fucking opponents? That's a pretty big problem, along with the odd man rushes.
It's a huge issue because, like, just pick your fucking head up. Look where you're gonna shoot. If there's somebody directly in front of you, maybe we don't shoot that puck. Maybe we do hold on to that, and it's not the worst idea to just hold on to a puck, skate it behind the net, do what Gino used to do, and just start doing laps in the offensive zone. Do something other than shoot it directly at somebody and then just have it bounce out of the zone, and then guess what? 2-on-1 regardless.
Yeah, because everyone's pinching up trying to play and create offense.
Now you had that up high. Nothing was there. You couldn't get any opportunity.
Especially they're standing around the perimeter, and just passing it, and literally nobody's going side to side.
Yeah, we don't have like. So the power play doesn't have,
it's a big circle right around. Yeah, right around the net. From the blue line down below the net is pretty much the Penguins' circle of power play offense, and they do not cross anywhere within that circle. It is nothing but infuriating. It's these egos, because you got I hope they didn't bully Karlsson into like being a bitch on the power play, but my God, it sure seems like that they've done exactly that. Because Erik Karlsson was the one that was like a good risk taker on the power play, and like he's been like scared almost into like drop passes and passing it to Malkin or Crosby on the points.
Right. it's well, I mean, our power play is running the same power play that we ran back in what the 2010s, 2008, 2010s, all that.
Yeah.
I mean, the power play breakout is let's just have all five, or I'm sorry, let's have three guys standing at the blue line, one guy carry the puck, and then we're gonna try to drop pass back to somebody, and then try to like bring it in the puck that way.
Or instead of a drop pass, they'll come in and curl out,
Right?
curl up, and protect along the boards, and then
And
review the options.
Yeah, try to look for something through the middle.
So do you think maybe all these young kids over the years and years of NHL hockey and junior hockey coming up into the NHL who have grown up idolizing Crosby, Malkin, and the Penguins the way that they play, do you think they're just very well aware of exactly what they're going to do at like all those times?
I don't even. I mean,
And you
listen,
gotta think there's all these years of film put up on them too.
Yes, but like, the thing with that is Ovi. Like, Ovi does the same thing on the power play.
Ovi has not very many goals this year.
Well, yeah, but still, but my point is, yes, but what was I thinking? I mean, Old Faithful can work, but why not try something different? Like, so
I think you almost need to go back to Old Faithful at the right points in time and
not on a 82 game basis. Like you can do it at certain points throughout a game, but you can't run it every single chance you get, every single game,
every single shift.
Right. It's not conducive to what you want this team to be doing.
I think another problem for this team too might just be that with like Ricard Raquel out and sounds like Brian Rust hurt again.
Probably Rust
sounds
back.
like they just aren't very good.
Well, we made all these depth signings, but then our depth is not doing anything.
The depth is also in the top six being what it is.
Well, yeah, but the reason you sign so many guys is like they wanted to have depth because they know injuries happen throughout a season. You brought in a guy like Vinny Hinostroza. You brought in, I think Colin White's still down in the minors. I don't even know at this point.
I have no idea.
But like you signed these guys to like be able to step up and make an impact whenever something happens, or just being in your lineup on a daily basis. And none of them have done that, especially the bottom six. I get it. Like, Nieto's hurt, Achari's hurt, but like
it was a shame because those two actually, ironically enough, started to look good.
Yeah, and even with Jeff Carter, I'll give him credit. Now, I'm not saying he's been phenomenal, but he's looked better than he had.
He's looked better than what we've had because I think another thing. I remember talking a few episodes back. And during like our preview time was how we had like all this new depth that was going to be able to create some competition and some compete level.
I haven't seen it.
Literally, there was zero compete level from that bottom six in the Tampa Bay game.
I mean, Juna Koppinen or whatever the hell his name, and he's like 6'8", no tenacity, nothing. Did he lay a hit? I don't think he did. Redeems a Hornets, 6'6", 6'7". Didn't see a single physical play out of him. I mean,
Drew O'Connor, relatively invisible more often than not.
And you're getting fucking big minutes now.
He has no choice but to get big minutes because there's nobody else to play them. Because Alex Nylander hasn't earned them.
No.
But
then they put him on the power play instead of they took Malkin off the power play and put him on the power play last night.
I mean, Malkin hasn't looked very good on the power play either. But he's only gotten a goal in his last 7 games as well.
Yeah, well, I think
or 8.
Funny enough, like we've talked about in past episodes, Ricard Raquel hadn't had a point in how many games coming in, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and Gino and Riley Smith both just cool the fuck down. So it's like, what happened there? Because he wasn't doing anything, production like numbers wise, and then
taking attention.
And then he gets down, or goes down rather, and boom, Gino, nothing. Bradley Smith, nothing. Dropped Bradley Smith off my fantasy team because he's done shit for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, he's been dropping.
Yeah. So I mean, I at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few games, if we drop a few more games here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some changes between maybe just assistants, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point if it's the whole coaching staff.
I mean, you've been right on that. You've been right when it comes to other people's jobs.
I shouldn't say I wouldn't be surprised because I think Sully did just re-sign or like sign an extension within the last year or so. So I guess like to get ownership's approval or whatever to fire Mike Sullivan if that's the route we decide to go down. I mean, kind of I guess the same thing that is going on or was going on up in Edmonton. Just something's got to change, and you're not going to make a trade. I don't see anybody going anywhere. So something's got to go.
The only thing I can see really happening in a trade is not going to really be until the deadline, and that's Jake Gensel. Yeah, that's be selling off Jake Gensel for some future assets, which I think that's something that might need to be done. And I think he could get a solid return because that's a guy who's won a couple of cups. He scores 30 goals. He's putting up the numbers that are suggesting a point per game. Who doesn't want a multiple cup winner producing at a point per game clip on their team? Right. Someone's going to pay up for that.
So, I mean, we've been kind of doom and gloom for what? Probably 15 minutes now on the Penguins.
Approximately.
They're only 4 points out of second place in the Metro.
It has been a very competitive division.
It has. I mean, the Rangers are kind of running away with it right now. They're 12 points ahead of the second place team, the Hurricanes, right now. And then...
tell you what, though, if you go 5 for 34 in your last 34 power plays, you're probably sitting at a clear second place in that division.
Yeah. Yeah, because, again, it's 4 points. I guarantee you, because they had, 3 opportunities in last night's game on the power play?
Correct.
So even if you score on 2 of them, you might, that's a better chance of, tying that game up and getting that game to an overtime or whatever.
That is correct. I did watch all 3 power plays, and I suffered through them.
Right. So...
I suffered right through them.
And then there was another night, we had another 5-on-3, didn't score again. I think it was the Monday's Philly game, I think.
Another one, yep.
Another 5-on-3 we didn't score on. So it's like, I mean... Sorry, there's something in my eye.
But like I said, you go 5 for 34, you score 5 more goals in that time frame.
Right.
It's a lot better looking.
Yeah.
And you probably have another 6 points.
And then so I was looking at last night at goal differential as well. Everybody in the Metro, there's only 3 teams with a plus goal differential in the Metropolitan. Name them.
Name them. Rangers?
Yes.
Penguins?
Yes.
Islanders?
No.
Devils? Not the Devils.
Nope. No. The Devils are -3. And they are only...
One more strike them out.
Yeah, they're tied with us right now in points, by the way, the Devils.
They've been intriguingly bad this year.
Yeah.
Timo Meyer's
they
their
also
guy.
have 2 games in hand still.
Is it Philly?
It is. Now, Carolina's even, but caveat to this. The Penguins are +8 in goal differential.
And goal differential, at least that's a good start.
But if you remember the San Jose game was 10-2.
So there's 8.
There's your +8.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
See, you can see stats guy Nev. You can make these stats however you want to make them look. You know, goal differential. Hey, that looks good. This might be a playoff team. Take away the Sharks game. Oh, it's even.
Because I was laying there and I was like, man, we didn't actually I don't think we had a game where we had more than 5 or 6 goals. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, that game.
Yeah, there was that game. So
and then I didn't look any further, but I think that was the only game, the only blowout that we've had in our favor.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that is definitely the only one I can think of.
Right. Yeah, so funny how that works out.
Stats are for losers.
I agree. We're also on a 3-game losing streak, though.
That's right. We are losers right now. Stats are for losers.
Ooh, I don't like this number.
Ooh.
In the last 10 games, what do you think our record is?
2, 6, and 2.
3, 4, and 3.
Yeah. That was a little gloomier, but
yeah. I don't like that, though. I mean, the only one that's worse is the Blue Jackets, and that's not surprising. They're 4-5 and 1 in their last 10. They actually have more regulation wins than we do, though.
Damn.
We have the 2 overtime losses.
Jackets.
They're very something. But
they're just perennially rebuilding.
And then there's, oh my God.
Speaking of perennially rebuilding, can we take a look at the Pirates offseason signings real quick? It's a list here. Ready? Here, let me find that real quick. There's nothing. There is no signings. So thanks, Mr. Nutting, for following up on your promise to spend more money once again. You consistently do not do that.
So this is a quote from Ben Charrington on the payroll. I anticipate us ending up above where we landed last year. Generally speaking, we expect that as we get better, the payroll will continue to climb with us. To some extent, it's motivation for us if we can actually push that as we get better. I'm sorry, is he saying that until the team's good, they're not going to spend money?
Well, they always do that. They dangle it in front of our faces like a carrot. Hey, we'll spend money as soon as we're good. So, we traded away the good players. They're gone. Yeah. So we're not going to spend the money.
How are you gonna be a good team if you don't spend even just a little bit of money?
That's what I got.
2 words.
Cricket noises.
That's also 2 words. Yeah. Fire nutting.
Well, I don't think we're going to do that. No. I don't think you can do that. But speaking of firing people, though.
Ooh, who are we firing now?
Well, you wanted to fire Sullivan earlier. I
didn't.
Well, you mentioned it might have been a possibility. So if we're doing a show in 2024 this time, do you think either Sullivan or Tomlin are around?
Really got me thinking. Got me flustered. Tomlin, I don't think will be around. I think.
Do you think the Steelers will fire him?
I think ownership has probably had enough. I don't want to say it's turned into a clown show, but like for the Steelers, this is definitely a bit of a clown show the last few years. And I just think that Mike T has like kind of lost the team.
Potentially.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's coming from somebody that doesn't know anything about football and doesn't pay much attention.
I think most teams would
fire him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Steelers will. I think if anything, they'll try and work out a trade and then realize that there's not really a trade that they'd like to be made because they'll probably think we can probably get what John Gruden fetched, which is like a first-round pick.
I always forget that you can trade coaches in the NFL. It's so dumb.
Yeah, and the Broncos traded for Sean Payton, too, so.
That's so stupid.
I think that was only like a second. Well, that might have been a first.
Actually,
I'm not sure what the compensation was.
They're doing pretty decent all of a sudden, aren't they? The Broncos.
Yeah, they had a really good game against the Texans. That was really down to the wire. I was surprised.
So, yeah, they've kind of turned it around. Everybody was getting on rest for not cooking like he's supposed to.
Well, he got less fat and less corny.
Oh,
so that's nice. He
that's
good. He was really corny last year. Like, it was a really bad time.
Yeah. I think he's just a corny person, and I think
absolutely
I think that's what we finally saw that, and then everyone's like, yeah, no, don't be that. Just
it's like, hey,
go back to hiding yourself.
How about
you
just
do that?
You don't do sponsorship deals and see, we got corny down. I think
so.
We're corny to a good extent. What the hell is that
I
rattling?
don't know. It sounds like somebody's trying to come in.
Probably like the government.
It's
Saul
Goodman over there.
Saul Goodman's office over here. He was to join the show.
I'm just waiting to see like a little that one doesn't have the little mail slot in it. So I'm just waiting to see like a little head pop through there. Hey, it's me.
Better call Saul.
Jimmy. But so, I didn't answer the second part of your question.
You never did. Yeah, I'm still waiting for.
I was trying to buy as much time to think about it, and I didn't really do much thinking about that.
Because you made kind of some indications earlier that you might expect an in-season firing this year. I personally, I don't see that happening. Maybe the end of the season if they miss the playoffs, but I don't see it happening.
I mean, I don't. I would be shocked, but just because, like I said, he just within the last year or two signed an extension. So correct. I think that I think might be the only reason that I would be shocked. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily seem like he's lost the team like Tomlin to me, but it does seem like he himself is having a hard time adjusting what he it seems to me like he is stuck with, we're going to do just this and this only. Like, we're going to run it this way, and we're not going to deviate from this at all.
See, I lay in a different camp on that topic. I think it's more the players kind of want to do what they want to do. I think it kind of boils down to that core four.
I mean, could be that. But then
at least he changed the opening lineups yesterday, and Riley Smith was still bad.
But I mean, you can move this person up, move this person around. I would like to see systematic changes. I don't think, I think the way they're playing in the neutral zone and on the offensive zone forecheck is just not befitting this team. We have an old team. We can't be putting all of our pressure up and then having like one person back. This team just doesn't. Late in games, especially, this team can't be doing that.
So, yes or no? Sounds like your gut's telling you no.
Yeah, I don't think he will be.
That he won't be here. I'm leaning towards that they're both here. I think this team still. My gut's telling me that this power play is still going to click this. It's still going to figure something out at some point.
Well, and so that's kind of why I think that the assistants should go first. Fire Reardon because your defense hasn't been defensing and your power play hasn't been power playing. So if the people that you are in charge of aren't performing to the standard that is expected of them, you can't move any. You've done everything you can with the players. It's going to come down to who's in charge. I think it should. So, I mean, like I said, your power play isn't doing shit, and your defense has been subpar.
Okay.
Who's in charge of both of them? The same guy.
So that's probably the more likely of the two in seasons.
I think if it's an in-season thing, I do think it'll be Todd Reardon, Mike Vellucci gone.
Okay.
But at that point, then I don't know who you bring in because, I mean, everybody that Sully trusts is occupied at this point.
I think they'll still both be here this time next year.
I do too.
Well, Nev, I believe
deep down, I do think they will. I don't want to see both of them here next year. I think they run their course with me. I've had it. Bring me something new with assistants. I would like to still see Sully next year. I don't know that he will be here either.
Okay. All right. Well, as we mentioned earlier, it is December 7th, and we do have this day-ish in Penguins history. Bring it, Nev.
I was going to say, so
this is a big day in Penguins history, correct?
Pretend we are about 6 hours, 5.5, 6 hours in the future.
So this is December 8th, Penguin history.
8th day in Penguins history. A guy named Mario Lemieux. Pretty decent hockey player, right? He had his battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and retired for, 3 years, I believe? He was retired, right? 97?
Correct.
So he took a 3-year break from hockey, and on today in 2000, Mario came out of retirement against, do you remember who?
Mention it. Say it.
Do you know who? I think I'm right. I didn't look this up, but I'm pretty sure it was against Toronto.
I'm not 100% sure. I thought you came prepared with it.
I'm not.
You advertised it as you came prepared with it, so.
Well, I saw that much.
I don't have it this day in Penguins history, but I do have.
There was no December 7th. Go ahead.
I do have some fan mail.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
news to me.
Yeah. So Nev, the fan mail is directed towards you.
Uh-oh.
If you had 10 shootout shots on Tristan Jarry, how many goals do you think you would score?
Probably 2.
2. Okay.
I mean, so that's being generous to myself. It's incredibly hard to shoot on an able-bodied goalie, especially whenever you're not in a constant state of doing that. They take up so much more of the net than what you see in a sled hockey game. And obviously, like I said, we're not shooting on them a whole lot, so you don't exactly know what to look for.
I thought that was a fun question because there's actually some experience too of shooting on an NHL goalie
that's
for you.
That's partly why I was like, I don't. 2 is to being extremely generous to myself because I have shot on an NHL goalie before, and like I said, it did not go well. one of our guys scored, and that was on Marc-Andre Fleury. I
hit a post.
I think I'm confident that I could get one by him for sure.
I was gonna say, I think I could pop in the sled again and probably still put one by him in 10 shots. Once I remember how to do it.
I could, like I said, I know I could definitely do one. Because I do think that there's going to be that adjustment for him too. Going, what the fuck is this? Like, because I've talked to different stand-up goalies, and they're like, man, just like the angle that you shoot at is so weird. So I think that might go my way. I don't know. At least one.
All right.
Tristan Jarry.
At least one.
Tristan Jarry, whenever my team comes to practice with the Penguins, it's on. Do a shootout with us like Flower did, and I'm going to go 5-hole.
He's going to call a shot. Babe Ruth in it. All right, so there's that.
I got it.
So that was our first fan mail segment.
Yeah.
That was
thank you.
That was from a few people from what they call themselves. They're an interesting group that they represent a little place called
Badge's Bar.
Yeah, so they were curious about that.
Yeah, I figured that's kind of who it would have been.
So they predicted that you would say 3, if you were curious.
Yeah, no, I
said you're too humble to say 3.
Like I said, I know. I've seen it. I've done it. If it wasn't an NHL goalie,
how about Alex?
If you give me like a Casey DeSmith,
yeah, I was getting ready to go.
I would definitely score at least 3 on Casey DeSmith.
Because Alex Nedeljkovic is actually
Alex
okay.
Nedeljkovic is like an actual NHL goalie. Casey DeSmith is not.
He's looking pretty solid as a backup in Vancouver. Ish.
He looked pretty solid as a backup here for like a year or 2.
That's
and then people figured out that he's not good.
And smaller.
Well, not partly why he's not good.
Yeah.
I just don't like Casey DeSmith.
Fair enough.
Honestly, might just try to dome him 10 times. I know it wouldn't do anything because he's taking shots way harder than mine will ever remotely be. Still be fun for me.
If you were shooting on Casey DeSmith. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. If it's him, I'm going to go just like dome shots.
What about an ECHL goalie?
That's kind of what I was
thinking.
That's
Yeah,
Casey
right
DeSmith.
around there.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Genuinely, like, even ECHL goalies are really good goalies.
Yeah,
I know
if you're in
people
those...
like to shit on, like, oh, you're not in the NHL. Listen, if you are playing professional hockey anywhere, you are better than 99%.
Jordan Binnington was almost in the ECHL and then parlayed his way into being the starter for multiple years at the Blues. So
yeah, won a cup, not a big deal.
Alex Burrows, he did a similar route
Jay
too.
Beagle.
Yeah, and there are people that have taken that route. So,
yeah.
And then you think about it too. I mean, goalies, 3 injuries away, from being right there. So,
yeah, it's a lot easier. I'll put that in air quotes for those that can't see. It's a lot easier for a goalie to get caught up than a forward or defenseman.
Yeah.
Just numbers wise. I don't know.
I mean, realistically, you got 2 starting goalies.
That's what I mean.
You got 2 goalies.
You got 2 goalies. You have a starter and your backup.
You get 1 groin pull, 1 sprained ankle, and then boom, you're down for 6 weeks with goalies. And you're the AHL goalies now.
Oh, speaking of goalies, so the U.S. team right now, the national team, they are in, I don't know where they're at, actually. I think they're in Canada somewhere.
I saw they announced the new team, or they showed the team that was going to this.
They're doing it's the Para Hockey Cup or something like that. It's the U.S., Canada, Czechia, Czech Republic, and China.
Czech Republic's canceled.
Yeah, and China is the other team, and the U.S. is just like destroying. I think they beat Canada 5-0, and I think that's the closest game. They beat China 11-1.
Good.
Didn't see what they. I know they beat the Czech Republic, but I don't remember the score of that game.
Czechia.
So, not Czech Republic.
No, we canceled Czech Republic.
No, they canceled Czech Republic. They wanted to be Czechia.
You're just trying to bring it back.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm sure those guys will. Declan had 4 goals today, or in their game against Canada. I think it was today. So yeah, 5-0 win. Declan had 4. This is my shocked face for those that are watching. Talked about it, last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. The kid's just insanely good.
Yeah.
And if you want to see us kick the shit out of some Canadians this weekend.
There's Canadians that you're going to kick the shit out of?
Yeah, we are playing Team Ontario.
Oh, snap.
It's the best people from Ontario in the sport of sled hockey. And we will be playing them at the Pittsburgh Ice Arena in New Ken, Saturday and Sunday. 12 and 3 o'clock on Saturday and 10 a.m. on Sunday. And last time we played Team Ontario, we got into a huge ass fight with them. Both goalies got ejected. Surprisingly, none of the skaters got ejected. But our goalie got kicked out because he went over the center line, which you can't do. And then their goalie got kicked out for, assaulting one of our double amps. He just started, beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then our goalie is a bit of our goalie, who is now retired, was a bit of a psycho. And he saw that happening. He was like, no, not up in here.
Do you want to do one more time with the music and kind of the December 9th and 10th, say the date again, and at the December 9th and 10th at the ice rink, and I'll put the music on, and then we can, boom.
I think we already missed that opportunity.
December 9th and 10th.
I was going to wait a little bit longer and then do it. Yeah, like I said, on Saturday it is noon and 3. And Sunday is 10 a.m.
Saturday,
10 a.m.
Saturday at noon and 3. And Sunday at 10 a.m.
Sure,
December 9th and 10th at the
Pittsburgh Ice Arena.
Pittsburgh Ice Arena
In New Kensington, PA.
New Kensington, Pennsylvania.
You just type in Ice Arena, New Kensington, PA, and that'll take you there. Yeah, so 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Saturday, and 10 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah.
Crap, that means I got to be there early as shit Sunday.
Too bad.
Yeah, it's fine. I get to mess up some Canadians.
I think I
Send them back to Canada.
I got drug into something at noon on Saturday. It's doesn't sound like it's fun.
You could always just tell them your crippled brother has hockey games.
It involves the family too.
I figured.
They'll be like, I already committed to it. I can't back out now because now they know. I said it. I can't bail now.
You see, you should have just not said anything. No,
I already did it. I can't back out now. They'll hear it.
Yeah, I was say,
I'm sick.
By the time we recorded this, Cody became seriously ill.
Violently ill.
By the end of this recording, Cody was vomiting everywhere.
All right. Pittsburgh sports.
So, do we want to get our predictions for the next few games for the Pens
Yeah, let's do it.
before we head out of here?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let's see.
When is the next Pittsburgh Penguins game?
It is tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Friday, correct? Yeah.
Friday, December 8th.
They're still in Florida. They're taking on the Florida Panthers tomorrow.
Ooh, boy. Sam Reinhart's been a monster this year.
Yeah, he has.
He's been very good. And scoring goals.
And then they still have Sasha Barkov. Nasty.
God.
Bobrovsky. So good.
I don't like us to win that one.
Yeah, I don't see that going too well.
Oh, boy, this is ugly.
Yeah, because the next game...
I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at my fantasy football team. There's a lot of injuries.
I think we both have...
Yes.
I think we're both going to say that tomorrow's going to be a loss, right? Yeah. So...
No, fuck you. I think we're going to win.
Okay.
Just because I have both Barkov and Sam Reinhart on my fantasy team, and they'll probably do nothing, and then they'll lose.
All right. Let's hope so. So...
And we just talked all this shit, so they'll win.
All right, so you have them as a win. I don't have them as a win.
Who the hell am I going to pick up?
And then Tuesday will be the next game after that. So the weekend off plus a day. Shit. Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Tuesday, they are in Arizona.
Ooh.
At Mullet Arena.
I did not expect to say ooh.
I know,
to
right?
that.
I saw Arizona. I was like, all right, that's a win. And then I remembered Arizona is actually kind of decent this year. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I picked up Connor Ingram, and he's been
really good. But, and there goes the
sirens.
ambulance.
I don't have the
Hopefully,
sound effect.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. They are 13-9-2. Impressive, especially if you're a Coyotes fan.
Yeah, they've won their last. Well, they played the last 6 Stanley Cup champions.
6? Was it 6?
5.
I knew it was 5.
Well, you had a repeat one in that time frame.
They beat 5. The 5 current.
5 teams,
Right.
which includes 6 Stanley Cups.
Yes.
Because Tampa Bay has won
Back-to-back.
twice in that stretch.
But yeah, so I don't see. And I'll tell you what, you were talking about Connor Ingram playing well for them. But how about Clayton Keller? He so good. The kid, did you see that sauce pass he had?
Unfortunately, no, I did not, because I
have him.
I keep watching the crappy hockey, and I go to sleep by the time that's over because I'm so exhausted of watching crappy
Fair
hockey.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And then, so you have them winning against Florida. I have them losing. I'm gonna say they're gonna beat Arizona at Mullet Arena.
I'm saying they're losing.
All right. So we are opposite both games. And then, so that is the first game of a back-to-back. Penguins are on the road in Arizona, and then they go home to play the Montreal Canadiens on Wednesday. Montreal and us, same exact record. 11 wins, 11 losses, and 3 overtime losses with 25 points.
Where do you stand on that one?
I would like to see us just destroy them. And I'm going to say they're going to, but because I'm saying they're going to, they're going to just get absolutely shit trounced.
They lost every game to the Montreal Canadiens last year. Montreal wins.
Stat guy code.
Stat guy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you got them 1 and 2 over the next 3 games.
I don't know about 1 and 2. It could be one of these overtime ones too.
1 and 1.
I'll feel just as crushed after. I'll feel like it's 1 and 2 either
if
way.
we don't come out of here with these next 3 games with at least 4 points. I heard a good quote the other day. I think it was during one of the Lightning games, and it was a John Cooper saying, but on these road trips, where so like the Penguins are on a 3-game road trip, 4-game road trip actually. You want to try to get more points than games played. Does that make sense? So you get 2 points for a win. So if you're on a 3-game road trip, you want to try to get 4 points. I don't know. I've never heard it put like that. So simple.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how we've been breaking it down, too, a little
but I've
bit.
just never heard, like, especially from a coach.
Yeah.
I've just never heard it broken down so simply. Okay, we're on a 3-game road trip. Let's just get as many or more points than we have games. Get 4 points in 3 games.
I heard a good quote, too.
Oh, God. No.
It was, you fool me once, shame on you.
What song is that has that in it?
If you're fooled, you can't get fooled again.
'Cause we were in the locker room when we were down in Florida, and I think I was playing music.
It's J. Cole.
Yeah, that song came on, and McCoy was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "No, like, this is like a song. It's a part of a song." And he's like, "Who is?" He's like, "No, it's definitely who you think it is."
And then he
It's
spits
definitely
bars.
GW. It's definitely George W. Bush.
Gotta have a little George Bush
and he was
reference
like, That's
before
what I thought
we go.
it was.
All right. Well, we shall see all of yins next week. Lego pens.
Let's go Pens. Get what? 6 points. Let's do it. We'll take 4.
Lego pens.
Let's go.